the Crafty Cataloger here for what I guess will be my September, October, early November update. It's been a little over 2 months since I last had a crafty check-in. Just busy. While the second job that I talked about in my last video is going fine, it does cut into the amount of time I have to craft and just do generic things. I feel like I spend a good portion of my weekend trying to get my house back in order and get myself prepared for the next week. And it is what it is, but it doesn't always leave a whole lot of extra time for crafting and whatnot. And so I really thought I probably didn't have a whole lot to share, but when I started making notes, I actually found that I had more than I remembered. So that made me feel good, that I am still getting some stuff done, maybe just not at the rate at which I would like. Today's video will be a little bit different. You might notice I'm in a totally different location. I'm actually in our camper, our brand new camper actually. We decided in early September to trade in the camper that we'd had for the last few years, which was a bunkhouse, for one that is a rear living space. We are getting to the point in our lives where our boys are not going with us every time, and so we don't really need the bunk beds anymore. A pull-out couch is fine for them, and they're old enough they can pull it out themselves and such. So I had thought we would wait another 3 years before we upgraded to a rear living space unit, but my husband didn't seem to think we needed to wait that long. So we went looking and we found a beautiful fifth wheel with just about everything in it that I could ever want and more. And so we ended up trading in the one that we had for this one. And there were 2 times this fall where between the 2 jobs I had to work a Saturday, a Sunday, and then several nights in a row. And there's a campground on the east side of Mount Pleasant it's part of a resort group. It's called Outdoor Adventures, and it's one of these deals where you have to be a member of the resort to stay here. And although I am not a member, my parents have a membership, and when they purchase their membership, they purchase the family option, so all of us kids are able to use it. And so twice now I've had my husband bring the camper up here, and I've kind of lived out of the camper for a week just because it puts me closer to work. It's less drive time, gives me a little bit of time to not be on the road so much. I did take today off from work because I did work Saturday and Sunday, and call me a wimp. I just didn't want to work 6 days in a row, and I had vacation time, so I took today off. I'm hoping to get in some stitching, some knitting, a couple of walks, and maybe just sit and stare at the TV for a while and enjoy the peace and quiet because I'm here by myself. So anyway, I don't have a whole lot of stuff with me. I will have to do a lot of inserting of pictures, so it may be short. We'll see. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you'll find some crafty goodness that you enjoy. And if you are returning, I thank you so much for coming back to visit again. And I'd also like to thank Jackie from Cross My Stitches for the shout out in one of her recent videos. And if you haven't been watching her, you should. In just a second, that reminds me I need to get something. She, up until just recently, was a full-time RVer and crafter. And one of the things that she does aside from cross stitches, she does some sewing. And she was selling, or makes and sells, these Ort containers. This is, I think, her smaller one. I think she makes one that's bigger. But this little pillow thing, I'm not sure what it's filled with. I'd say sand, but I'm sure it's not sand. But it's weighted so that it will sit on the arm of your chair. And then this part hangs off so that you can, the camera doesn't want to focus on that, so that you can put your orts in there. And so I ordered one from her, and I absolutely love it. And I ordered it with the intention of using it in the camper. Maybe towards the end of the maybe at the end of the video, I'll put in a quick tour of the camper. But one of the things I love about the new camper is that not only do we have a full-size, full-length couch, but we have what's called theater seating. So it's like two reclining chairs that are connected together, and I've already claimed one is mine, and so I can sit there and I can stitch, and this works perfectly on the arm of that chair so that I have a place to put my orts when I'm here. So I wanted to share that because she was really great to work with. She showed me some fabrics that she had, and I was able to pick out one that I liked, and she had it done in like a week, and it came to me really fast. So Jackie at Cross My Stitches, go check her out. So let's head right into the cross stitch stuff. So finishes and FFOs. Last time I shared that I had finished Eat, Sleep, Craft, Repeat, and Every Bird Welcome, and I was able to get both of those framed, and I will insert pictures here of the two of those things framed. Nothing exciting there. They're, I'm sure, not framed to anyone's great standards, but they look fine in the frame, and they're just going to be hanging or sitting around my house. So they look good for what they're going to be used for. I also finished and framed Home of a Needleworker 2, which I will also insert a picture of. That one, notably, for those of you who have seen that pattern before, you'll notice that the house is a different color. I changed the house to a red color because our house is red. And other than that, I don't think I made any other changes to any of those. My current works in progress. I have been working on Glory of Autumn, seems fitting at this time of year, and I feel like I have made quite a bit of progress. I'm pretty sure, I'll see if I can find a picture from before, but I know that like pretty much the whole barn I've done since the last time I showed it, and I've gotten a lot more of the tree done. This is what I will be working on today when I sit down to stitch today, I will be working on this. We went camping, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, and I took this with us, and I worked on it, and then I purposely did not even take it back in the house when we got home, because I knew I was coming this weekend and into this week, and I thought, I'm just going to leave that out there, and I will work on it again when I'm working the next time. I will probably work on that one for another week or two, and then I'll probably put it away for a while. I really do enjoy it, and I think the colors are beautiful, but I have some Christmas things that I want to get back to because 'tis the season. I've also worked on Oh Dear It's Christmas a little bit, and I will insert a picture here if I have a decent one. I think I do, of where it is. It's probably close to half done. That one, like, I have a feeling all Teresa Kogut patterns are like this. Deceptively small. You think it's gonna be something you can whip right up, but in truth her patterns are truly like full coverage on a small scale. So although it doesn't look that big, there's a lot of stitching there. And so I really would like to get that one finished. And I'd like to get that one finished not only because I would like to frame it and use it as Christmas decoration this year, but also because Christine over at Stitch All the Things made me go buy Christmas Sentiments by Stony Creek. Okay, so she didn't make me buy it, but she kept talking about it and showing it, and I really, really like it. So I ordered it, and it's probably at my house right now because I think it might have come yesterday. I ordered everything, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I know I ordered the fabric that they said to stitch it on, and I probably should have changed that because I'm not really excited about stitching on linen. I'll do it, but I should have changed it to something else. And they were out of the red. That may pose a problem. I have to figure out what I'm going to do there. But the Threadworks, the red color that is a Threadworks thread, 123 stitch was completely out of. So I'll have to see. Sorry. One wonderful thing about this new camper is that we have windows all along the back, and somebody just drove by. Campground is pretty much empty, which is awesome. But somebody just drove by, so of course I had to look out the window. What else? So anyway, I am looking forward to doing the Christmas sentiments with Christine and her stitch along that she started on November 1st. I'm going to have to start a little late. But I will start that as soon as I have a chance. So my plans for cross stitch are to finish Oh Dear It's Christmas, put another couple weeks into Glory of Autumn, and start the Christmas sentiment sale. And then I think I'm probably going to have one more purchase in my very near future. Those of you who watch Stitchin' Mommy, Sarah from, I believe she lives in California, she has in the past done a couple of temperature patterns. She has a temperature garden, which is flowers, and she has a temperature, the temperature balloons. I think she came out this year. She just came out with a new pattern, temperature tree, and I really, really like it. So I've never been overly drawn to the temperature patterns. I mean, they were pretty enough, but they never spoke to me enough to be like, yeah, I really want to do that. But when she showed that one, it was like, oh, I want to do that. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to purchase that before the new year and get stuff around and make my attempt to do that for 2020. Next up, let's talk about quilting. My last crafty update, I told you that I was going to make a quilt for one of my coworkers who is expecting, and I did. In fact, I quite amazed myself last Tuesday because, of course, Katrina didn't get right on that and, you know, pick away at it over the last 2 months. Last Tuesday, I I cut out and sewed the entire quilt top last Tuesday. And then Friday, I got the backing around and I took it to the quilter. And the quilter tells me that they will have it long-armed in 2 weeks, which is going to be just right. I really don't know if I can get the binding on it before the 19th. We are having her work baby shower on November 19th. If I can't, I will wrap it up and give it to her without the binding and then tell her I have to have it back. But I'm glad that I'm going to be able to give it to her at least almost done. I would have given it to her with just the pieced top if I had to, but I think it will be much nicer to at least give her the quilt. Now, if I truly do get it back in 2 weeks, which would be not this Friday, but next Friday, there's a very slim chance that I could get that binding on if I like really push myself. And I might. We'll see what's going on in life at that point. But I will insert a picture right here of the quilt top as it was finished. I found the cutest fabrics ever online through an Etsy store. Well, I found them online and then I was able to find where to buy them on Etsy. She told me she was doing her nursery in a woodland animals theme. And I found this fabric that was woodland animals who are reading books. And that could not be any more perfect for a librarian, in my opinion. So I'm really excited about it. And I hope that she likes it as much as I enjoy putting it together for her. So once I get that back from the long armors, I will finish the binding on that. And then I really, truly want to get back to that cubbyhole quilt that I said months ago I was going to finish up. Because I really would like it done. I have a couple of other projects that I'd really like to tackle, but I kind of told myself that I cannot even start those until the cubbyhole quilt is done. So I need to get that finished. Next up, let's talk about knitting. Last time we spoke, I was working on the Rickroll wrap. I have finished that and I will put a picture of it here. I still need to add the buttons and block it, which I'm hoping to be able to do this coming weekend. I did buy some buttons last week, and so I just need to figure out where they go and how to block it, and I will do that next week. And I need to block that candle flame scarf that I finished eons ago because I had to get out my winter coat here in Michigan a couple weeks ago, and that was where that scarf was supposed to be. So I need to get that blocked so I can put that on my coat. I've been wearing the Paris and Berlin cowl. I knew it would come to me. That I made. I think I'm going to re-block that one this weekend. I've worn it like 3 or 4 times and it feels like it's getting stretched out. Maybe that's just the way it's going to be. So I'm going to have to do that. And I did work briefly on the baby blanket again for a little bit, and then I was watching Pam Reed from Pam's Crafty Corner the other day, and she talked about a knit-along, a cal that she was going to join, that Jessie Marie is going to do. And I had missed the Instagram announcement that she was going to do that, so I went and I looked it all up, and yep, sure enough, she was going to do that. So I thought, well, I want to do that. I want to knit along. So I went out and I found a pattern that I'm going to do, or that I've started. Sorry, I have a chair sitting next to me so I can put stuff down. This is the one I'm going to attempt. It's not the best picture. I mean, it's the one off the pattern. It's called Belmina by Melanie Rice Handworks. And I think it's going to be very pretty. It's similar to the Paris and Berlin cowl in the construction, and I find I really like those. I am a scarf girl. I wear scarves all the time. Even in the summer, I have a lot of lightweight scarves that I wear. I don't know. And I'm always kind of chilly, and my office is always freezing. Even in the summer, I'm wearing a sweater. So I really like scarves. I've made one knitted scarf, and the problem with it is that I feel like I'm constantly fiddling with it to keep it looking nice, because I feel like I look in the mirror and it's all wonky and it looks funny. And the thing about these cowls is that they pretty much stay put, and so I really like that about them. So anyway, I've made a meager start. Maybe I need to put some paper behind that. So that's not the best choice. This piece of wood. I've made kind of a meager start. It has some really, can I get it to focus? Maybe, come on. It has some really nice lace detail. And I'm never good at figuring out what part of the pattern I'm actually knitting while I'm knitting it. But I think this must be maybe one of the points, I don't know. I'm actually into the body of it. It doesn't look like much, but I am into the body of the cowl. So although that doesn't look like a whole lot of knitting, it's over 20 some rows. So that yarn is, what's that? There's a little piece of fuzz on there. This yarn is a really nice blue, slate blue, I think you'd call it. It's called Sweet Georgia is the company name. Hudson is the color. And I purchased this at Stitching Memories, which I believe is in Kalamazoo. And it's a 50% superwash merino, 15% silk, 15% mohair, 20% nylon. For you people who understand all that stuff, because I'm not sure I do. Anyway, I think it's going to be really pretty, and I'm having fun. It took me, I swear it took me 15 tries to get that started. I do seem to start every knitting project about 3 or 4 times before I finally feel like, oh, I think I got it this time. And I decided to take it with me and start it at the car dealer last Friday. Had a little snafu with my car. I drive a Jeep, a 2016 Jeep Cherokee Latitude, which I absolutely love. And in early October, I got an email from Chrysler that said they were going to send an over-the-air update for my radio. Okay, no big deal. Well, about a week and a half later, the over-the-air update finally came through. And it came through as I was getting to work one day. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Because in the email, it had said, you'll have to put your car in park and shut it off. You have to have a key out of the ignition for this update to run. So I was getting out of the car to go into work, and I thought, well, this is perfect. You can run while I'm at work. Well, I came out of work several hours later, and for whatever reason, the update hadn't gone through correctly. So it was asking me to set a time for it to try again. And so it was like 4:40, and I was going to go walk. And so I knew I would be at my destination by 5 o'clock, and I would be out of the car and all that good stuff. So I told it to start at 5 o'clock. And I figured that would be more than enough time. It would be done before I needed to get back in the car and drive to my next destination. Well, I told it to start at 5 o'clock. And when I hit OK, it started right then as I was driving down the road with the car not in park and with the key in the ignition. So that should have been my first clue that something wasn't going to go right. And but, you know, I had no way of stopping it. So I continued driving, and I got to my destination. I went in to the sports complex where I've been walking, and I walked, and I came out and turned on my car, and I had absolutely no radio ever. Like, my screen in the middle of my dashboard was black. So their over-the-air update, in essence, wiped my radio out. Thankfully, they were very good about it, and they ordered me a brand new radio, but it took like 3 weeks between dealing with, and they didn't fight me on it or anything, but just phone calls and getting it ordered and getting things around. It took like 3 weeks. So I went and one of those weeks I was in Utah, so it wasn't so bad, but a couple weeks with no radio, and it wouldn't have been so bad except for they make these cars now. That screen is not only my radio, it controls my heated seat, my heated steering wheel. It controls where my heat comes from. I have buttons where I can control the temperature, but I couldn't control where it was coming from. It was really kind of annoying. But all's good now. So anyway, I had to go to the car dealer on Friday so they could put the new radio in the car. And I decided I would try to start that cowl there. Well, that was probably a mistake. It might not have been a mistake except for the very nice, chatty older gentleman who obviously is very lonely and just wanted someone to talk to. And when I ended up being the only other person left in the waiting room, he kept talking to me. And I was trying to be pleasant and still knit and I was trying not to encourage him too much, but also to answer him and to talk to him because it was very obvious that he just wanted to talk to somebody. So that was part of the reason I had to start over so many times, but then I just had to keep starting over and over and over. And even after I got home the next day, I think I started over 2 more times because I just didn't have something right. But I think now, knock on wood, I have it right, and I think I can proceed. The other thing that I decided I wanted to try my hand at was some socks. I don't know why, but I thought I'd try some socks. So I bought this pattern, which is Hermione's Everyday Socks. And I thought I would give these a shot. And I bought this yarn at, come on, over here. Over here. There we go. If I get out of the picture, it will. I bought this yarn at Hobby Lobby. Up until about 2 months ago, Mount Pleasant only had a Joann's, and this past year the Kmart in town went out of business, as most Kmarts are doing. And Hobby Lobby purchased the Kmart building, tore it down, and rebuilt a whole new building in its spot. And I held out for about 2 months before I finally went and checked it out. And I went and checked it out the other day. And so I got those buttons I needed, and I got this yarn, and I got these teeny tiny knitting needles. I mean, these buggers are small. And I'm still not entirely sure that I'm doing this magic loop thing correctly, but I do have a little bit of a start on the socks. Come on. It doesn't want to focus. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, always up for a new challenge. So that's what's going on in my knitting world. We're just going to gloss over paper crafting. I really have decided to try to sell off some of my stuff, and I've taken pictures, but have I actually uploaded those pictures to the site on Facebook where I was going to try to sell them? No, I need to get on that. So let's move on to reading. I have been continuing to read a lot. I have, in the last 2 or 3 months, read the last couple of Harry Potter books. I don't think I had finished book 5 the last time I talked to you, but maybe I had. I've since read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I am about 45 minutes away from being done with a book called The Butterfly Room by Lucinda Riley, and so far it is very good. Some other notable books that I've read, and I will try to put cover art up here for you of all of these. The Christmas Boutique by Jennifer Schiavarini. If you are a quilter, you would probably enjoy this book. If you are a quilter and you have never read a Jennifer Schiavarini book, I would encourage you to check out the Elm Creek Quilters series. That's the series that really catapulted her into being a pretty well-known author. She has since then kind of branched out and been writing some historical fiction. She's written, one was called Mrs. Lincoln's something. Like, it was about Mrs. Lincoln's maid or something. I did read it. I can't remember the title. I'll try to put it on here. But she's written 3 or 4 historical fiction novels. She kind of took a break from the Elm Creek Quilters books, and this book, The Christmas Boutique, was the first Elm Creek Quilters book I think I read that she's written in like 20 years, which I found really hard to believe. It didn't seem like it could possibly have been 20 years. So maybe I misread that. Anyway, it was very good. The Elm Creek Quilter series is one of those series where it revolves around the same group of people. So after you've read a few of them, you really feel like you know these people and they're your friends. And so I enjoy picking up one of those again. I also listened to Talking as Fast as I Can, From Gilmore Girls to Gilmore Girls by Lauren Graham. It was good, but it wasn't quite what I expected, and it wasn't quite as good as I thought it was going to be. I really did enjoy the Gilmore Girls TV series and do intend to go back and rewatch the whole thing over again. And she did share some things that were kind of neat. So it was good. And I would like to read her. She has a fiction book out someday, maybe someday, I think it's called. And I did put that on my to be read list because I would like to read that. I listened to a book called Bookshop on the Corner by Jenny Colgan. It was pretty good, but I still haven't figured out why it was called Bookshop on the Corner, because the bookshop was in a bus, not on the corner. Anyway, it was a pretty good story. And so my reading plans at this point are, I need to listen to Harry Potter and is it the Deathly Hallows? Is that the last one? For School of Magical Stitches. That's about the only thing I seem to be able to do these days, is to read and watch the movie. But I guess I'm doing what I can. So as soon as I finish the Lucinda Riley book today, I will start Harry Potter, the last Harry Potter, and then after that I'll just listen to whatever I want to listen to, I guess. Print book wise, I'm trying to read through the stack of Christmas books that my mother keeps giving me, and I probably have 10. So goals update. I beat my reading goal for the year. I was supposed to read 60 books. I'm already at 70. Woohoo! Feeling good about that. I am still logging my food. I am about 8 to 10 pounds from my ultimate goal. Feeling really good about that. I am still walking every day, although I am not walking the 3 to 4 miles a day I was, because it's gotten colder in Michigan, and thanks to actually it's probably not daylight saving. We probably went off daylight savings time. I can never remember how that works, but we switched our clocks last weekend, so we gained an hour of sleep, which nobody actually gains an hour of sleep. All it does is screw you up for a week and make you feel like you don't know what time it is. So now not only is it dark when I leave the house in the morning, it's pitch black just about by the time I get home. So there's pretty much no more walking outside except for on days like today or my Fridays or my weekends. So I'll be treadmilling it a lot, and I have a hard time doing more than about 2 miles on the treadmill. Even while I'm watching many of you fabulous people on FlossTube while I'm on the treadmill, I still cannot stand to be on there for more than about 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours! I can walk like 6 miles in 2 hours. I can't stand to be on there for more than about 2 miles, which is 40 minutes. So unless I can break it up and do 2 times on the treadmill in a day, which I can't usually, I'm down to about 2 miles a day, which I'm okay with as long as I keep it up. That's my thing. Just keep doing it. And when it gets nicer out, I know that I will go outside and I will do more again because I enjoy walking outside. Other than that, there's really not much going on. I think I will take a short clip tour of the camper for those of you who are interested, and I will put it at the end. I feel like this video has been kind of a hot mess because I don't really feel like I showed you much of anything, and I know there's going to be a lot of picture inserting. Hopefully I can get that done. I hope y'all are having a grand time, and that if you celebrate Halloween, you had a lot of fun. If you are in the United States and you're headed into Thanksgiving, I hope that you got all your preparations going at the pace at which you want them to go, and that you're looking forward to spending time with family and friends, and that you are looking forward to Christmas if you celebrate. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. I love the lights. I love the decorations. Don't love what it does to my checkbook so much, but I do enjoy the other aspects of it, and I look forward to it. So I hope that I can see you before then. But if not, have a blessed holiday season. Enjoy yourself. Take time to relax and stitch or whatever crafty goodness you enjoy doing. And hopefully I will see you soon. Bye. Okay, so here's a little video tour of my Hilton on Wheels. If you come in the door and look to your left, this is what you see. Actually, when you come in the door, you're kind of looking at the command center and this wonderful section of countertop. But then when you head into the RV proper, right here, we have a dining room table and chairs, which I absolutely love. This is the first camper we've had that has table and chairs versus a dinette. And I feel like such a big girl now that I have a table and chairs. Like, I'm an adult finally. And it's so much nicer to get in and out of to eat. The end of the table does flip down for when you're traveling. Or I guess if you didn't want the extra space, but I just leave it up. And then this is the theater seating I was telling you about. So it's like oh, I left that open. It's got a little storage unit there, which I've already commandeered for some of my stitchy stuff. But the 2 chairs, lots of cup holders. They must really think you want to drink a lot, because there's a cup holder there, and there's 2 cup holders there, and another one there. Kind of overkill in my opinion, but kind of nice. They're heated, and they also have like this vibrating function, and this little blue light bulb. You can turn on some blue lights that appear down underneath, like down there. I don't know if I'll try turning it on. Oh yeah, you can see it. The blue light turns on down there underneath. I don't know what that's for, just something fancy, I guess. And then we have cupboards up above there. And then this is looking straight on in the back of the camper, so the light's not going to be great. Full-size couch that does pull out into a bed, and up above, can't see it very well thanks to the window. But more cabinets. There we go. And we do have a ceiling fan. And then all seating has great view of the TV. And yes, we have a fireplace, which actually right now is coming in very handy because it's an electric fireplace. So I've got it cranked up pretty high, and that's keeping it so that it's pretty warm in here, and I'm not having, I have the furnace going, but the furnace isn't kicking on very often, which is nice because the furnace uses propane, so it's saving my propane. This right here is pantry, and then we have the island. Lots of storage underneath the island. I really do enjoy that. Double sink. Over here next to the pantry, this is a pull-out garbage spot, which I really like because our last camper I felt like there was never a good place for the garbage can. Microwave, stovetop, and oven. A couple more cupboards, refrigerator, and then this, that was what you saw when you walked in the back door, was this cabinet with the countertop. Honestly, I don't even hardly have anything in the upper cabinets because I don't. Oh, there's some of my previous cross-stitch finishes that I've used to decorate. I actually want to do something for above the TV. So then, when you come in the door, you turn to the right, you come up the stairs, and this probably won't turn out well. Bathroom, which is actually pretty roomy. The shower is really big, which we really enjoy, and then a cabinet to put the towels and such in. Sorry. And then into the master bedroom. 2 closets, one there and then one on the other side, and then that section in the middle we could use for a closet right now if we wanted, but it's actually meant to have a washer dryer unit put in it, which we don't have. Maybe someday if we decide to travel long term we might get one. But the bed, and this is a quilt that my mother made for my husband last year for Christmas, and it's made out of flannel, so it's really nice and warm. And we have a dresser. So we are really happy to have this new Hilton on wheels. And like I said, as you can see in the back, we have tons and tons of windows, which I absolutely love. So it can get lots of light in here, and if we're parked in the right spot, we can get a nice view.